But sometimes I find that it is such a deeper, like you said, imprint and programming that we are running this program. We are literally running this pattern over and over and over again. So you can talk about it all you want, but consciously, that's not where you're going to change it.
Yeah.
That's not where you're going to, like, I'm not kidding. I knew exactly why I was reacting the way that I was. I knew exactly what consciously why I was doing the things I was doing, but I still couldn't change it. I still couldn't override it. Like there was something running unconsciously.
Let's learn how our next guests get up, dress up, and show up on purpose. Enjoy the episode. Hello, morning enthusiasts. Welcome to the Best Morning Routine Ever podcast. I am your host, Lunide Lewis, and today I have the honor of introducing a very special guest to the show, Melissa Machat. Melissa founded Realign Coaching and Consulting to help empower and teach entrepreneurs how to elevate their mindset, accelerate their sales, and make the perfect hire in their business so that they can scale with ease. Melissa is a certified neuro-linguistic programming practitioner and possesses a deeper understanding of what's really preventing someone from reaching their goals. Oh, that's exciting. We're going to dig into the neuroscience behind the brain right now. This is like my realm. This is exciting. Melissa, you have over 10 years of sales experiences and over $100 million in volume sold in real estate. So that is like quite impressive. And we're looking forward to finding out the shift. You know, what causes you to go from real estate and then being a neuro-linguistic individuals to now working with the high-end entrepreneurs that you do. So with no further ado, Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I cannot wait to have this conversation.
It's going to be fantastic. Thank you again for coming on the show. I'm really, really excited, but tell us a little bit about you, your journey. I mean, I just read your bio, but you sounds like you have an amazing path. So tell us your about your journey.
So the quick version I would say is I'm originally from Los Angeles. I grew up in dance and musical theater. Performing was my life. And that led me to Las Vegas at 24 years old to audition for the shows. And for whatever reason, I had a rule in my head that if I wasn't on Broadway or a national tour or professionally, working in the theater, and making a decent living. I should add that in. I was professionally working in LA as a stage manager, but not making anything. And so I decided it was time for a real job, which is so funny because I chose real estate in 2009 in Las Vegas, the bottom of the market, but I didn't know any different. I just knew that I was dealing cards in a casino and working random jobs to get by while I was auditioning. And I was just kind of getting tired and burnt out and tired of not making money. And that has always been kind of a driver for me. So got my real estate license, and I didn't realize that personality and work ethic and kind of that hustle mentality that I was so used to was a perfect combination for sales. I built my real estate business very quickly. It did come very naturally for me. I did have amazing mentors and people who were helping me, of course. And I built my real estate business and woke up a few years later and completely was miserable and burned out. And I was making money finally, but I was going 24/7. I didn't have any boundaries. I literally was on my phone nonstop. I didn't have help. It turned into kind of more of like a, what did I do? If I'm going to be working 10 times more than I was before in theater, like, yes, money is great, but I'm not fulfilled. I'm not happy. And that led me on a personal development journey of actually trying to figure out what was wrong with me, because I knew I could have been doing so much more. As much as I was starting to see some recognition and success, I like to surround myself with with very high, producing people, and I wasn't even keeping up. And I was like, it kind of caused me to go internal and, what's wrong with me? Why am I not good enough? Am I good enough for this? What am I doing? I made my first hire. I had no idea how to lead other people. Like, I was a complete mess. And, a lot of those doubts and limiting beliefs started to kind of take over. So I went, had different coaches and went to different seminars and different events. And my whole thing is, if you've ever, gone somewhere and you've walked on fire, you've broken through a board and you're like, I'm so invincible and I can do anything. But like, I would still like be depressed on Monday and have anxiety and like, I know I can do these cool things, but like, what is going on? And that's what led me to NLP about fall of 2019. And I went to an actual like certification training course. And that's when the light bulb went off that there is nothing wrong with me. I was not in alignment with who I truly am. I was in the wrong role. All these things happen where I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell the world that you're not actually broken. You're probably just out of alignment. And that's what started the new business. And here
Yeah,
we
and
are.
it's really thrilling to hear because you can be a go-getter, you can be an overachiever and still feel stuck, right? That
Oh yeah.
stagnation, like it's almost like you have your one foot on the accelerator and another on the brake, and you cannot push forward. And to everyone else, it looks like you're thriving, you're doing well, and we do so well at putting up that facade. But internally, we are slowly dying because something's nagging at us that we're not enough, we're not lovable, we don't have what it takes. And it really, until we kind of dig in and find the root cause, because it's there for
Yes.
everyone. I think the key word is finding the root cause of that. And you were able to do that. You said in 2019, right? You were able to kind of dive deep, although you were so successful and already thriving, but something was holding you back from achieving your bigger goals, from adding value, it sounds like, right? So tell us about that process of digging in and actually finding the root cause and what the value was.
You said it so perfectly. It literally is like, especially for those go-getter high
Mhm.
achievers who on the outside, it does look like literally everyone would say, you're killing it. Oh my gosh, you're doing so well. And I'm like, you have no idea how I feel right now. Like,
Yeah.
this isn't, it almost makes it worse because people think you're something that you don't agree with, or
Yeah.
you're almost like fighting it. So I
Mhm.
just want to acknowledge that the way you describe that, like, hit something that resonated for sure. Uh, and as far as that journey, I would say I had really bad anxiety and,
Mhm.
almost like paranoia and fear and all these things. And it's just starting to build. And I always joke that like the signs get louder. Like, if you're not listening, the messages start to get a little bit louder.
Yeah.
And you don't want to wait to that point where it is kind of like a wake up call, or you hit that rock bottom. So for me, I had some past injuries from a car accident. And that was one of the starts of the wake up call, actually, was physically an accident.
Mhm.
And hopefully it doesn't take people to get to that point. And so in 2019, I finally decided that I needed to heal myself. I needed to really find people who could help me. And I started going more like the holistic route, actually. And that led me to a whole different community of people that started helping me start to see the inner work.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that there was so much there, and so much. I joke that I'm a very self-aware person.
Mhm.
I even went to therapy, and they literally told me, like, you're the most high functioning self-aware, like you're doing great. I don't
Yeah.
understand. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you don't understand, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like, on the outside, I look like I'm functioning, I'm great, I'm doing great things. But on the inside, I'm like, I know this isn't normal to feel this way. I know that there has to be a better way. So I would say the real breakthrough for me was, first of all, acknowledging that there was something going on, and
Yeah.
it was me. It wasn't anybody else. And then with NLP, they do something called a breakthrough session, which is a like 8 to 10 hour deep dive into figuring out. I love that you said it. It's figuring out the root cause and
Yeah.
figuring out what is that greater problem that is literally manifesting and causing everything going on in your life.
Right.
And it usually comes down to self-worth. It usually comes down to not feeling worthy, not feeling good enough, not feeling lovable. It's something for everyone. It usually is somewhere in that wheelhouse. And
Yeah.
sure enough, that's what came up for me, was that constant feeling of not being good enough and not believing that I was smart enough, good enough, worthy to actually achieve anything. Like, who am I to actually do these things? What do I even know? And that belief
Imposter
is
syndrome.
literally, yes, it's been running my life without me even knowing it, which is, yeah,
Subconsciously just running, because we operate out of this subconscious mind 95% of the time, right, Melissa?
oh,
And so we don't think about it. It's like a tape on auto replay that is
yes.
just really directing our thoughts, our feelings, because our thoughts direct our
Yep.
feelings, and then our feelings drive our actions, which are our habits, and then those give us the results that we have. And
And that's,
although, go ahead.
no, I was going to say that's exactly it. And why we self sabotage, because you have to prove yourself right. And
Mhm.
if those deep unconscious, and that's literally what the aha was at NLP at the training. And I know you can learn that from other places, but that's where it hit me, where it was like, if I don't believe I'm worthy, I will literally prove that I am not worthy, and I will self sabotage, and I will hold myself back, and I will create this reality that shows me, told you you're not good enough, told you
Yeah.
couldn't do it. And that's literally what's happening to all of us without us even being aware of it. It is autopilot behind the scenes. And when you start to like uncover that, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. And so without going there, without doing the inner work, without actually digging to figure out the root problem and doing something about it, you're going to repeat the same patterns over and over
It's
and
so
over. And
toxic. It's
it's so
so
toxic.
toxic. For me, I know for a long time it was my bad habit around comfort eating.
Mm.
It was like the thing I go to. That was the self-sabotaging, right? I'm working so hard to stay fit because I want to believe that I am healthy and fit and I can have this body. But then anything triggers, an emotion is triggered, and I go back to the pasta. I go back to the comforting food. What were some of the self-sabotaging behaviors that you saw pre 2019?
Yeah, no, I love that we're talking about it, because I feel like I'm in a growth phase right now. And a lot of this is still coming up. And I'm like, I thought I dealt with this. And it's like we're human. It's an ever ongoing
Yeah.
process. But even you asking me, I'm like, oh, I should ask myself this right now. Like, why am I feeling like this right now? Why am I self-sabotaging? So I'd say for me, I am very hard on myself, and it would come up in the self talk, in the doubt, in the my conversation with myself, which was very nasty. Like, it
Yeah.
was mean. So I would say that on the outside, people thought I was this very positive and go with the flow person, which I am. But on the inside, it was like, better. Oh, so I would say it was, better. Like, what's wrong with you? You know what to do. Why aren't you doing it? Clearly, you're lazy. Like, you need more discipline. Maybe you need more accountability. If you really wanted it, you would have it already. So clearly, you don't really want this. Like, it's just that constant voice in my head that was
Yeah.
like driving me insane. And
Yeah.
it's almost, yeah. So the self sabotage was kind of like, well, maybe I'm more of like a runaway. Like, well, maybe I don't really want this. You know what? Maybe
Mm.
I'll come up with something else. Like, I don't really need to do this. I'm happy like living a simple life. I don't really need these crazy goals that I've set. Like, I would almost justify like why I didn't actually like need
Yeah,
it or
yeah,
want it.
that's avoidance, and that rings true. Thank you for sharing, because there's so many different ways it shows up when you sabotage yourself and you don't even know it. You justify your reason for doing things. So, I'd love to know about the work that you do with the entrepreneurs that you work with. What are some of the the benefits, and how do you see them thriving?
Absolutely. So I would say the biggest piece is we are hardwired and programmed to focus on the negative and what we don't want.
Yeah.
And I think a big aha for me was switching your brain to actually focus on what you do want.
Mhm.
And it sounds so simple, but a lot of times we don't know what that is. We don't actually take the time to say, like, well, this is what I want. Like, I've asked a lot of people, like, so what do you want? What are your goals? And yeah, you can rattle off goals, but like, no, really, what do you want in life? What do you want your life to look like? What do you want your ideal schedule to look like? What do
Yeah.
you want your business to look like? And even for me, when someone took me through this process, I literally answered them with all the things I didn't want, what I didn't like, what was wrong. And they were like, that's not what I asked you. And it took time to actually say, like, oh my gosh, what is it that I want? So for me, I joke that clarity is my favorite word, clarity and
Mhm.
alignment, and clarity is my superpower. I know when you're clear and you know what you want, it's in alignment with who you truly are, you will be inspired to make it happen. You don't need accountability. You don't need force. You don't need someone like, did you do it yet? Did you do it yet?
Right.
When are you doing it? Like if someone has to force you, something is unconsciously blocking you and holding you back.
You're not
So
there yet. Yeah.
you're
There's
not there
something.
yet.
Yeah. You got to dig some more, get some more of that. Sometimes it's multiple
Yeah.
toxic beliefs that we got to root up. So it's not just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, it might be one big one that stems off into all. Someone actually
Yeah.
told me that. They're like, Melissa, I thought I had 100 problems. I didn't realize it was one giant one that was like feeding everything else. I was like, yep, that's it. So yeah, it really is helping someone dig and uncover and figure out what is that root cause, what is really going on beneath the surface. Because I don't believe it's that you're lazy. I don't believe that it's a lack of discipline. Or anytime I hear someone say that, oh, I just need more discipline, I need more accountability, I'm like, we probably need to dig a little bit deeper, and there's something else going
Yeah.
on. Because when you figure it out, it's like the gates open and people just go, and what you can do and accomplish, it's so much faster than you think it is. I did a session with someone, and her and her boyfriend like bought a house together like a week after, within a couple of days, I think, of our session. And I was like, well, that was fast. Like
Yeah.
it was something that she'd been avoiding, or all the things. It's like they were avoiding it. There were problems, there were issues. We cleared it up, and all of a sudden it's like the floodgates opened. And
It it's amazing. I had a client as well, struggling mother of three, and just did not feel in control of her life and the kids and everything around her. And after one, just coming through the program in one session, she goes off a week later and started a weight loss. And then 2 months later, she lost 20 pounds. And it was just like, where was all that hidden? Where was all that
right.
potential hiding that allows you to take massive action? That's what
Yes.
really comes out of it when you reach your full potential. Because a lot of us were operating and going at 40 to 60% of our potential, right? We're just kind of getting by. We're just pushing up a rock up a hill. And once
Yes.
we actually break that threshold and kind of get to that peak, I mean, we are flying
Yeah.
with what we can do. Extraordinary is our new norm, is that I
I
like to call it.
I love that. It's so true. Like it can happen so much faster than you think it can. And I love what you said. It's unlocking that like potential within you, because when you light that up and when you figure it out and when you find it, like I joke all the time that like that really is my thing, not joke, but like it's empowering you into action. It's
Mm-hmm.
clearing that up so you can just go make happen whatever it is that you desire, because you are capable.
Yeah.
It's just the other clouded stuff that gets in the way. And even from the NLP training, I had this whole thing about, who am I to start a coaching business? There's so many people out there. What do I know? I'm not qualified. Again, all of
Mm-hmm.
those negative. I'm not there yet. Who's going to listen to me? Right? Like I hope people can relate to that. All the
Oh,
doubts and fears that go through your mind.
absolutely. It's not today. The time's not right. I don't have the time. One day I will do it.
I'm not ready
Let's.
yet. I need more certifications. I need more this, I need more experience, whatever it may be. And I'm not kidding. Within 30 days of that program and learning what we're talking about right now, I started my business, got my LLC, taught my first class, and had my first paying client within 30 days. And it was like, what was I waiting for? there was no, nothing changed. It wasn't like all of a sudden I woke up one day and had all this, accomplishments and whatever you want to call it. It was just, it reminded me that it was like, we are the ones holding ourselves back. And sometimes you need someone to help you like
Yeah.
point it out and get
Where
your blind spots and go.
go. Yeah, because we're the culprit, we're the creator. What has happened, at at young age, we download some data. We're only designed to download programming, new languages, new faces, a new world being born. And so we've heard some things have been said or done to us that actually gets imprinted in our
Yes.
brain, in our subconscious mind, and it's unconscious, we're not aware of it, it's just happening and controlling us. And so once we go in and kind of interrupt that pattern, then we open up a whole floodgate, like you said, the universe is just ready to provide, but we get in our own way. We're forgetting
Yes.
that we are in control. We created this world because our thoughts become action. We created this world, and we can also recreate it,
Yes.
rewire it. So it's fascinating to hear, and I want to share with you because we have the same passion, and I want you to kind of share with our audience that, like, what makes this so unique. I mean, why isn't psychotherapy working? Why isn't any other form of actually dealing with mental health and actually help people, coaching? Why isn't any other method working like ours is? To
Yeah.
share.
Ooh, okay, so again, it's my opinion, and take that for what it is. But to me, I think that a lot of times we are focused on the surface. We are focused on the symptoms. We are focused on how are you feeling right now? What do we need to make that go away? Kind of like a band-aid, or it's very, to me, there is a place for talk therapy and traditional methods, but sometimes I find that it is such a deeper, like you said, imprint and programming, that we are running this program. We are literally running this pattern over and over and over again. So you can talk about it all you want, but consciously, that's not where you're going to change it.
Yeah.
That's not where you're going to, like, I'm not kidding. I knew exactly why I was reacting the way that I was. I knew exactly what, consciously, why I was doing the things I was doing, but I still couldn't change it. I still couldn't overwrite it. Like there was something running unconsciously that I was like, I understand this is why I just snapped, at my husband, or I had a reaction, or I did. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's what I'm feeling right now. That's why I reacted that way. But like, now what? Now what do I do about it?
Yeah.
And so I find that our work is going to that deeper, like, what is it that actually triggered you? What is that belief that you need to have so that you reacted the way that you did? Or what is actually going on beneath the surface that is preventing you from taking action? And so I think that there's another layer when you get into the unconscious, that it's actually reprogramming it so that you can run a better strategy. You can come up with a different way of being. And we even did something where, you can actually move unconsciously one of your values. And your values are truly, in my, again, opinion, your values are what determine what you take action on and what you do not.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people in career who come to see me and they're not making the money they want to make, there's a deeper belief going on about money. And money is usually not even in their values. It's not even important to them. And I hear it in their language.
Yeah.
So that's the difference, is I feel like I'm listening for the patterns and the words that you're using, which show me what you actually might be, running or thinking beneath the surface.
I like that you put it's not using a band-aid anymore to just cover the symptoms, to cover the bleeding. It's actually going in and stitching it and finding it and making sure there's no infection, for lack of better words, with
Yeah.
that metaphor. And so that really helps, especially people who are transitioning and who's not even aware of it because they're so focused on a career and building and business. We don't spend enough time being retrospective. looking inside or inward or dealing with it. We're just more outward, just masking it, or
Yes.
or using drugs or abuse, find outlets, different outlets versus just dealing with it. So this brings in a important point about relationships, right?
Mm.
Because you are in the business of helping people hire the right potential, the right clients, the right team members. So how does that play when you can take yourself out of the equation, take your emotions out of there to actually be able to bring on the right team member? Because
Yes.
we can attract the wrong people. That's the
Oh yeah.
powerful thing. We are attracting everything we have. We are attracting the world we're creating. And it's the same way we attract the mate that we have. We attract the friends that come into our life. But when it's business, that becomes detrimental. So tell us about that process.
Oh, so good. I would say it's a lot of the things we've been talking about. It is clarity, and that's my whole method when it comes to finding the right people. You have to be so clear about yourself and your values and your mission and what you are looking to create. What is your vision? And then once you're clear on who you are, what your business stands for, all of like the reasons why would somebody want to work for you? Why would somebody want to be a part of your world?
Yeah.
And I think we go about it backwards. We almost look at employees or team members as like, well, why don't they want it as badly as I do? Or why aren't they working harder? Why aren't they more motivated? And to me, that's a sign that maybe you didn't tap into their goals and their dreams and their vision. Because as a leader, it's about building up, I believe, it's building up the people around you and it's helping them achieve their goals. But if you don't know what your vision is and your goals, and you don't know what their goals are, and you don't know what their dreams are, how in the world are you even on the same page? And I also want to know, can my vision and my growth support my people and help them actually build their world within mine?
Yeah.
Because if I can't, then they're not the right fit. Or if they have a different end goal than mine, we're not the right fit. And so I feel like people miss a key piece of the recruiting, hiring, interviewing process is it's actually getting to know what's important to somebody. And
Mhm.
do our worlds match? Do they make sense? Can I actually help them get there?
Yeah. It's looking at the other person's needs, and that's part of being in business, right? Is being able to add value. So that's really really important to look at. How do you help this person continue to thrive, continue to grow in this role that you're hiring them for? Because especially with small businesses, we wear so many different hats, right? So we can hire you for something, but hey, we need a hand with this today. Can you take over organizing this project? And that happens. And how do we alleviate or even mitigate burnout because of the different the role ambiguity that takes place?
I think a lot of it is, to me, it's all about communication, standards, and expectations.
Yeah.
So as a solopreneur, a starting out business owner, entrepreneur, and you are wearing all the hats,
Mm-hmm.
then the goal is to get help and delegate as fast as possible. And you might say, well, sales aren't coming in yet, or what can I do? I'm learning so much. There's intern programs out there. You can trade with people. You can get creative. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be payroll, but what can you start delegating? Where do you need the most help? And then once you do start bringing people into your organization, that's where the communication, knowing their needs, knowing what they want. I told my executive assistant during the interview process, everybody I was interviewing, I told them, I am a mess. I am a mess behind the scenes. There is a chance we are going to go in 50 different directions. If you are going to have a problem that one day you're doing this and the next day I ask you to do something completely different, this isn't going to be a match, right?
Right.
I'm looking for someone who loves the spontaneity, who loves I get to do different things every day. This sounds perfect. I get bored doing the same thing every day. I love cleaning up messes. I love organizing, right? Like So I was very transparent. I feel like a lot of times as a business owner, you want to pretend like you are perfect and you have it all together and you are, you're looking for someone professional to come in and do these tasks. And you have to be transparent. You have to be open. And then communication, I have weekly communication built in with my team.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if people realize this, but they say, I believe statistically, your employees are mentally checked out or looking for other jobs like 6 months, I believe, before they actually quit.
Mm.
So how did you not pick up on that in that
Right.
6-month period that somebody was physically, mentally
Checked
checked
out.
out? To me, by having weekly communication with my team, I have them answer questions, kind of like a Google form or, some type of little survey. I have them answer the same questions every single week. I know teams that have them answered every day. I go weekly. Weekly is great for me. I know when someone is off. I know when someone is having a bad week. I know when someone is having a bad, they're frustrated or they're unhappy. And that allows me the opportunity to run to that conversation.
What are some of the questions that you pose, if you don't mind sharing?
Yeah, of course. So they're basically like, what were your wins this last week?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know. If someone can't tell me a win for the week, they might not be in the best headspace,
Yeah.
right? If you can't find a win for the week, and it can be small, I'm not talking big accomplishments. What's a win for the week? What challenges did you face? What are the skills and like habits of a high performer in this role?
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel is getting in your way of hitting your goals? So again, the stuff,
Yeah.
it just kind of makes them think for a minute. And I can tell if the answer is none, I don't know, I'm fine, versus, sometimes I get paragraphs of
Yeah.
like, I'm going through something and I'm frustrated and I don't understand, or, I'm getting bored or whatever it may be. So those are some of the questions that just kind of a check-in.
That's huge. That's big for that's a big practice. I was saying, yeah, that's really important in actually checking in with your team, because you really don't want that 6 months to come and they're all out of there and they're not happy. And I'm really going to emphasize that. But tell us about business growth, and I know you have a business elevation quiz. Tell us about that and how that yeah, tell us about that and how it applies to business.
Absolutely. So I created a quiz and it's 9 questions. So it's super quick, super easy. 9 questions to help you figure out either where you're stuck in your business or what the next step is in order to grow.
Yeah.
And it's not that you have to want to grow some giant organization. A lot of the times as a solopreneur, you're just like, okay, what is it that I need to do to get to the next level, whatever that means for you.
Yeah.
And so the quiz was designed to help entrepreneurs figure out that pain point. Like, where is it that I actually do need to focus on, or where I am kind of getting hung up
Yeah.
that I may not have realized it might be a blind spot that I might not realize is actually missing. And then depending on your answer, you're going to receive an email sequence over the next week with tips and what to do and action, because I'm all about action items and how to start getting through that like icky stuck phase of whatever it might be. And I'll just, as a spoiler alert, the 4 answers in the quiz, because this is usually what it is that is holding you back in your business or what you're going to need in order to grow your business. It's leverage, it's mindset, it's sales skills, and it's leadership.
Nice. Yeah. You're right. The bottom
That's
line,
it.
it comes down to these 4 things, because you want to grow, you want to scale, and then you're feeling stuck again, right?
Yep.
And
And so
sometimes it's your mindset holding you back.
the majority of people get mindset, which
Yeah.
I also find very fascinating and interesting, that it's us getting in our own way. And the way I know is, again, by the language that you use. So the quiz, the questions are designed with language where if it is your mindset, that's what I hear people say all the time. If it is leverage, this is what I hear people say all the time. And so I'm plan on adding a 5th category at some point, because for some people who've done the work and they've built the team and things are going really well, they've said like nothing really applied to me. And I'm like, well, that's amazing. That means that you've overcome those pain points. But there's a fifth category that maybe they're not quite there yet. And that's wealth building, money management. Now they're making money, but they don't actually know how to manage or what to do with it. So I feel like that will be coming at some point this year.
That's a different milestone. That's a different belief to deal with. You see, as you progress, the business grows and you have more opportunities, more things. Every day brings its own challenge, right? With every milestone, it comes this new devil. So that's really cool that you can actually peel them one at a time as you see progression with your clients. So that's really cool. So I'm curious and intrigued. You must have a robust morning routine to show up like you do. So tell us, how do you get up, dress up, and show up? What's your morning routine like?
So this, I actually have to credit my husband, who is the very disciplined morning person. I'm more like ease, flow, what feels good. We are complete opposites. So our morning routine, it consists of moving my body, right? Yeah. And it's not, so I'm not the exercise, workout hard. We actually go on a hike with our dog every morning. We live near the desert. So we literally go back up and take a hike in the desert, and it's beautiful. And I get my sunrise photos, and, it's just to me a way to kind of like connect in nature and get grounded. And then, some exercise, stretching, Pilates, moving, dance a little bit, and then getting ready for work. And for me, I do believe in who you surround yourself with and what you're listening to. So in the morning, I will listen to podcast or a recording or something to just get my mind going, get myself in that headspace of, thinking bigger and positivity. And if I'm kind of feeling in a funk, okay, what do I need to, like, this conversation literally helped pull me out of kind of a funky morning where I was just like, something just feels off and I'm frustrated and it's not going the way that I want to. And after this, I'm like, oh, I'm lit up again. This is amazing. Yeah. So sometimes it's conversations too. So I'd say for the morning, that's, sometimes I pull oracle cards, and I want to get more consistent with that because it just kind of allows you to drop in and get grounded and get a little bit more of that flow energy instead of, I can tend to be on like the more masculine, let's go, let's hustle, let's go faster. Yeah. And sometimes I need to slow down.
Want that rapid transformation. I'm with you. I'm the same way, Melissa.
It's a work in progress. Yeah. It is a work in progress. Yep.
Yeah, I love the consuming stimulating content in the morning, getting the mind right. Because what you do in the first 10 to 20 minutes of the day sets the tone for the rest of it. If it's chaotic, you have the energy now, your day is going to be chaotic, rushing, and you're not going to be at peace, and you're not going to be as productive as it could be. But if you really spend the time to take care of yourself, go for that hike, bond with your dog and your friend, your husband, and listening to things that stimulate you, kind of get the flow and get you going, that actually is very productive. It's very helpful. And I'm all for working out in the morning. I do as well. And entrepreneurs that come on the show swear by it. Working out in the morning, getting your blood flow, because you gotta shake the cobwebs off for being a rest and asleep for 6-8 hours. So yeah, morning routine. What about meditation and hydrating? What are some other things that you partake in?
Okay, so I drink a lot of water. I only drink water. I don't drink alcohol. I literally am a water person, and and I forgot sometimes I do have a morning coffee. So yes, there is some coffee involved, but for the most part, it's water. And meditation is something that, again, I'm working on pulling myself away, taking an afternoon break. I will, if the weather permits, I will go sit outside. And if you follow me on social media, you'll know I literally like lay on the ground outside and, relax, and I'll listen to meditations. And on the weekends, I absolutely will meditate and just kind of get back into that flow state. I keep saying that, but it's so important. And disconnect, because when you're in that go, go, go energy all the time, and what did I do? And I haven't accomplished enough. And, again, that voice can come out of like the beating yourself up, being hard on yourself. And I've learned that the more I slow down, the more I connect in nature, the more I disconnect from everything going on, I can actually hear myself. I can tap into what I actually want, what I need.
Yeah.
I started asking myself, if I don't feel well, like, body, what's going on? What do you need today? And it sounds weird, but the answers will come up. Like, you need to stay off your computer and you need more water. It's like, oh, I can do that. Okay, sure. No problem. So I think that's that connection with yourself that is so important. So yes, I would say that meditation, like I said, the oracle cards, grounding, getting outside, just letting it, quiet your mind.
Quiet your mind. Get away. Turn it all off if you must, at least for a little while. That's very interesting. Tell us, how can we find the Business Elevation Quiz? How can we connect with you? Where can we find you?
So I joke that Instagram is where I spend too much time, but I'm on Instagram. You can DM me. I would love to have conversations if you have questions, and it's at Melissa Machat. And then for the quiz, I would love for you to take the quiz, and it's melissamachat.com/quiz. So super simple, but I'd love, I've gotten some amazing feedback, like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think of that. This is actually helpful. Even leadership, someone took the advice from the quiz and applied it to their team, and they're already starting to see a difference in their communication. So it's exciting, and I'd love for you to take it and let me know you took it. I'd love feedback.
Yes. We'll have that on the show notes so everyone can have access to it. Melissa, it's been such a pleasure. You came in and dropped knowledge about, going in deep and finding that root cause to actually get out of your own way. That's really the takeaway today, is we are the cause of our life, and we're creating this experience that we're going through. And so we really got to find the root cause and eradicate it, interrupt it, so that we can actually thrive and live that full potential that resides innate and that is dormant for so many years. And Melissa, you did a phenomenal job exemplifying that and explaining that today. I look forward to everyone connecting with you. So I really, really thank you for the opportunity today and for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This was amazing.
It was an absolute pleasure. I enjoyed the talk so much. I really, really thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So this wraps it for the episode. I will do edits. I know that was good. I will do edits and put that on a week before it goes live. You'll get all the information.
Perfect. Yeah, I'd love to share it and promote it and all the things. So.
All that good stuff. Yeah. So you'll get all that you need for it. And I do apologize for the my friend coming in. I'm doing a webinar next week. I'm actually in 2 days. I'm doing a webinar in 2 days. And so I just tweak my settings to let people into the room without me approving it. And so that's what happened. So I apologize.
That's the joy of editing. It's all good. Yeah, thank you so much for this conversation, and would love to stay connected, because it's not often you find someone who speaks that same language. And, we do need others who can help kind of, like I said, I was kind of in a funky place this week and frustrated, and it's not going the way I want it. And why not? And what's wrong with me? It's so easy to fall back into it. And it's sometimes just connecting with someone and remembering, oh yeah, I'm creating this. How am I attracting this resistance? Like, what am I resisting? Oh, that's right. Okay. So it's like, it helped me too. So thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I would love that. Yeah, because I'm growing my network as well, my circle of just people to bounce off. Because when you climb up the ladder, you really lose a lot of people that you can't relate to anymore. Yes. So you have to replace the circle of friends, because you got to create your own mastermind, for lack of better words. And so, yeah, I would love that as well, because we are in the same path.
I love it. And yes, anytime, I'm here and would love to connect more and learn more about what you're doing too, because it's not often I can feel like that kind of connection, and I'm definitely missing that piece of it, is more like-minded, people, and to have these kind of fun conversations. So thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So I'll definitely reach out in the next few days. So I thank you so much for your time, and that wraps it for us. I'll talk to you soon.
Good. Sounds good. Thank you again.
You're welcome. Bye. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please comment and tell us what was your favorite part, your favorite habit that you are going to try out for yourself today. Comment below. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, I will see you at the top of your best morning routine ever. Stay blessed.